I think the political theater that goes on here constantly, every day, the 100 days of the shock and awe, then went into another, 300 days or whatever of shock and shit. Like, it just doesn't stop there. Shock and then some other word. Between the deportations and the tariffs and the Epstein stuff and all that, it's just shock and something. I'm just going to call it the shock and shit. So we have all that going on, right? And then we have the Epstein stuff, and then you have people that teach about cults saying, the cult will leave. Like, enough of them will leave. This was really going to impact them, and then Trump attacking them and making fun of them, that's like the nail in the coffin. And then some of you go, no, it's not going to matter. Nothing's ever going to change. They'll vote for him, or they'll try and keep him in. And then I say, okay, well, here's the problems with JD, and here's why they're not going to go for that. It doesn't matter. They're just going to love JD, and they're going to do whatever he says. Okay. That is you getting obsessed that political theater is all that's happening here. Like, that's where you're focusing. Their pocketbooks are going to make a lot of decisions, whether or not they even want to believe in them. They're not going to have the choice to stay there, because there is going to be nowhere else to blame. This is the GOP. This is Trump, and it will be JD's. And the hits are coming. And I think that because we don't really talk about that, we're so focused on like the theater. We're not talking about the hard economic times that are coming. I just saw a guy on here that was talking about his HVAC company, and he said normally this time of year he'd be booked out weeks and weeks and weeks in advance. And he's like, I'm not booked out a week. This is unheard of. And so he's having to lay people off. And then he's like, and normally I should have like tens of thousands of dollars saved up for winter months when we don't really have that much work. I don't have it. I don't have enough to cover their pay till next week. And there's people letting go of people all the time here. Like, it's just happening, and people aren't spending money. And every area of industry pretty much feels that. And then on top of it, you have all the immigration stuff and the deportation stuff. So you have people scared to show up to work, or people being detained, or people leaving the country, or people too scared to come into the country. And those affect major, major industries that are like frontline stuff, all the way to like resort stuff, like airports, like it touches everything. And that will impact all of this. So I feel like you guys think of things in like you compartmentalize, and you only focus on like the back and forth between them and the cult, and like it doesn't matter. It's like, because before they had the hope that Trump was going to come and fix it all, right? That was the golden carrot. We're going to save the children with Epstein, and then I'm going to fix the economy. And the economy's getting worse. Every month it's getting worse. His polling numbers getting worse. In January, he started at 53%. He's now at 42 or 41%. And if you look at anything individually, he's just dropping. And in independents, he's just getting killed. And so people go, well, the Republicans are still, their polling is still high. Well, part of why that is because when you're in a cult, you just have that sense of saying that they're doing well because you feel allegiant and you feel loyal, and you would feel disloyal. Like, you don't ever talk bad about them, even to a stranger. Like, you would feel sick to your stomach afterwards. So you just say, oh yeah, they're doing amazing. And then to go to your friends like, he's not doing that great. But on the poll, you will say he will. And especially when he's under a lot like scrutiny, like they're going to want to feel like they have to defend him. But the other reason they will say he's doing well is because they do it in reference to what it would have been if, the bad side got the team, like got the position, right? So I've seen them in Reddit and stuff say like, as bad as it is, guys, and as bad as he's doing, could have been worse. The Democrats could be in charge right now, because they are convinced that, we're communists, murderers, like whatever. And so their cognitive dissonance is freaking out about how bad it is. And it hasn't even really gotten bad yet. It hasn't even really started. But they have to try and talk themselves through that by saying, well, it is off, but can you imagine? Like, we would be in the Great Depression, we'd have no food, we'd all be starving to death, our churches would be burning down. Like, they have to go to this apocalyptic type place to make what's happening here okay. But that will only work for so long. And then that's going to get passed on to, if JD comes in, when he comes in, then this will be JD's shit show. You know, that's all coming too. So when you guys come like, they won't care. They'll care. They'll care because this is part of the mission that they voted for. It's a big part of why people don't even really pay attention to Trump and that. They felt like they had more money when Trump was in there. Or they've just been taught that Republicans are fiscally conservative and they run a better ship. Like, that's how I was raised. I would have had no idea that Democrats were better than that. You don't. And when you don't look outside that Fox News, you just don't know, because Fox News will present it like it's all good, but like they can't get around it this time. Who's he going to blame? Biden? Biden could be dead. Like, they bought this. And like even the polling that keeps going on about the big beautiful bill, it's just getting worse and worse and worse now that people are understanding what's in it. So, you know, when you focus on just like, oh no, they're still going to want him because he's him, they won't when they can't afford anything, when their cars get taken, when they can't pay rent, when they can't do anything extra at all for their kids and they're hoping just to get food, when all the extras has to stop. Yeah, someone will be in trouble for that. And it will be Trump, and it will be JD, and it will be the GOP. They bought it, and they are going to pay for it.